This is the app portion for the SwitchBot Mini IR Hub. This is going to be a little different than I have done for the other SwitchBot things in that the application itself for the hub, it's really not what you're thinking. The hub itself acts as a means of connecting your Bluetooth SwitchBot devices to the internet, allowing them to access Alexa or Google or whatever you choose. However, you can also use the hub as an IR blaster in which you can combine IR remotes and use this as its main means of communicating with those devices. So up here, I actually set up a IR remote for my air conditioner, which I just set it up so that if I tap this button, it will turn on my air conditioner. And then I set up another one right here for my TV set, where if I select this, I get a TV remote, which will allow me to do things like change the channels, change the volumes, and type in numbers if I was actually on cable, and then had a directional pad here, and then the color labels that you all get with the LG TV remote. However, the SwitchBot Hub Mini here, if I select this, realistically, all it does is say, hey, do you want to add a remote? And if I select this, it'll have me choose a remote, and then setting up one of those remotes. And then I can come back to here and I can select that, and it brings me right to my remotes that I had shortcuts for on the main page. Or I could set up scheduling. So if I set up a schedule, I could say here, and we'll leave that at that. We'll say this day and this day, action, and I select an action, and I can choose, do I want it for this, AC on or off, and then I can actually set up a schedule for the IR blaster to talk to that device. Now the one thing is, the IR blaster does need to be in the location of the device that you are actually trying to control. Right now, this air conditioner is on my second floor. The TV is on my first floor. I cannot control the two at the same time because they're in two different areas for the IR blaster. So if you've got a grouping of technology in your living room, you can control all of those at once using a single hub. That's really what you can do with the actual functionality portion of the application for the Hub Mini. But if we come up here to our settings, this will allow us to get into the settings for the Hub Mini. So right here, we've got name. So we can say change the name, change its location, and change the room. Coming back, I have my Wi-Fi settings, which will allow me to jump onto a different network. Here we have the indicator light. So right now I have the indicator light is turned on, but I can toggle that off, and what will happen is the white light that's on the front of the Hub Mini will turn itself off, so you don't have to have it on all the time. Notice when I turned off that light, it turned off automatically the keep turned on in standby mode. So if I select that, I can hypothetically have the indicator light on, so when I push something, it will turn the light on, but when it's not doing anything, the light will remain off. So that's kind of a nice option to have right there. You have NFC, which will allow you to create either NFC tags or remotes, but these are extra products that you would have to pick up with SwitchBot in order to do. So if I do that, I would create a tag and I would have that particular action happen. Coming down, we've got our logs. This will be all of the logs for the app control that we were using. So right there, you saw me when I was playing with my air conditioner. We have our FAQs, so this will open up a page for your Hub Mini to find out what you need. Firmware version, selecting that, show your firmware, and let you know if you have any firmware that needs updating. And then right down here, device info. This will let you know all the information about your Hub Mini, so MAC address, serial number, all of that fun stuff. And then you can delete your Hub Mini right there. And really, that's everything that you can do for the Hub Mini with the app. Realistically, you are setting it up to be a bridge for your other devices and an IR controller. So there's not a lot of options for you to play with the hub itself, but once you start adding in those IR controllers, that's where the Hub Mini really gets into the nitty-gritty of what it can do. But other than that, it just hangs out there.